What's happening, rock and rollers? You got Steve Brown here, and you are listening to the Syncin Wang show. Have some fun, and let's talk some rock and roll.
But you're kind of like a spaceman, huh?
No, actually, I'm a plumber.
I was listening to the radio. I heard a song reminded me of long ago. Back then I thought that things were never gonna change. It used to be that I never had to feel the pain. I know that things will never be the same. I wanna go back and do it all over, but I can't go back. I know I wanna go back, 'cause I'm feeling so much older, but I can't go back. I know. Oh no, I wanna go back, do it all over, but I can't go back. I know. I wanna go back, feeling so much older, but I can't go back. I know. I wanna go back and do it all over, but I can't go back. I know. I wanna go back, 'cause I'm feeling so much older, but I can't go back. I know. I wanna go back and do it all over, but I can't go back. I know. I wanna go back, 'cause I'm feeling so much older, but I can't go back. I know.
When I think of how my life was spared from that near fatal wreck, if the devil wants to play his card game now, he's gonna play without an ace in his deck. Rock soldiers come, rock soldiers go. Some hear the drum, and some never know. Hey, rock soldiers, how do we know? Rock soldiers come, rock soldiers go. Some hear the drum, and some never know. Rock soldiers.
Time has never gone so slowly, and baby, time has really taken its toll. Anyone can see that I have never been so lonely, and all the years gone by will never hide the lines. Does it show on me? I can't forget the things you said, and nothing takes away my memories. I loved you then, I love you now. I'm always dreaming of the day I hear you say you're coming back into my arms again, for everyone to see. Looking at you and looking at me, can this really be? I could not believe my eyes when you walked by. Baby, what a surprise, took my breath away. Then I called out your name to see
meet again. It's funny how fate lends a helping hand. Nothing's changed, still feels the same. No more dreaming till I really hear you say you're coming back into my arms again. Let everybody see I'm into you and you're into me. We're in ecstasy. You're coming back into my arms again for everyone to see. Looking at you, looking at me. Can this really be? You're coming back into my arms again for everyone to see. Looking at you, looking at me. Can this really be? Back into my arms again. Let everybody see I'm into you and you're into me. I love my dolls. You must believe me. It's plain to see they really love me. I love my dolls. They'll never leave me.
It's Stanley here, people, and listen!
Bill Wang here, people. How's everybody doing, man? We got a very special episode this evening. It's gonna be sad, but it's also gonna be joyous as we're gonna have fun. And I want my distinguished co-host to introduce the amazing guests that we have lined up. Syncin, Stanley, who do we got? Bam!
Oh man, we got guitar virtuoso extraordinaire from the band Trickster. Not only Trickster, this gentleman has played both guitar roles in Def Leppard. Not only that, he produced and helped co-write most of the songs on Ace Frehley's last album, 10,000 Volts. Let's give it up for Steve Brown. Oh man, Steve, thanks so much for joining us for our Ace tribute. This is a tribute to Ace Frehley. Steve, man, what you got going on, buddy?
Well, thank you. Thanks for having me. Finally, we get to do this, guys. I'm honored. And, of course, like we were talking about in the break, it's a sad time. We're still mourning the loss of Paul Daniel Ace Frehley. And, I miss my friend, and I mean, I'm sure you got, you do too, just the stupid fun text every day that we used to have. And, it's a sad time, but that's the way life goes sometimes, I think we've all experienced where you lose close friends or family members unexpectedly, if you will, and you have to learn to get on with life. And so I think, it's been a couple weeks now. I'm still very sad, I think, as the world is, but I think, we're turning around and now we're honoring, the legacy and the music. And, it's with Ace, he will live on forever, and that's the great thing with his music and with his character and his superstar, funny, great, sweet attitude, and all the stuff that we have of him in the interviews. His laugh, we know, will live on forever. So But yeah, it's such a bummer. And again, like I said, man, forget about Ace the rock star. I think it's just for people who are close to him, we just miss our buddy and our friend. So.
Before this tragedy, man, when was the last time you had any communication with him?
I mean, we were texting, we text every couple weeks. He's so busy on the road. I've been so busy. So it was always, we were always trying to hook up, like, come on, let's go get lunch. Let's go do something. But, and I was sending him some of the new song ideas over the past couple months. The last time we hung out together was when I was down at the M3 Festival in May when he played that. And, it's just, that's the way it is, man. We're all, when we're working musicians, we're all on the road and it's hard. It's happened to me before where you just lose track of somebody and the next thing you know, something happens and they're not here anymore. And you're like, damn, I wish, what is it? Shoulda, coulda, woulda. But it wasn't meant to be. But, I still, I was looking at some of the text messages the other day and just some of the funny jokes and the funny stuff that we say to each other. And, again, just I have so many great memories, and like everybody, we're gonna miss them.
We'll share some of those memories as we go on through this episode. Start celebrating his music. Yeah, man, and we got to give a shout out to Neil Davis, who put on that wonderful Kiss Cancer Goodbye. I mean, I'm sure that was a highlight for you, playing with Ace on stage, where you got to get up there in your Ace uniform, and and I got to meet and hang out with Ace again, reconnect with him, because I first met Ace back in '93, but we'll talk about that later.
Yeah, I remember you telling me.
Yeah, I remember calling him finally. I finally broke down and called him, and you were there when I called him.
That's how we met, which I still remember it like yesterday, coming over to work. And I think we were working on, at the time, the song Cherry Medicine. And I remember coming in and he just goes, Ace goes, hey, I got you, Syncin Stanley. He's right here. He's on the phone. I was like, whoa, dude. At that point, 2.5 years ago, you were still like the new thing, and everybody was kind of like, what is this? Who is this? And but again, one of those great memories. And look, a couple years later, now we're buds.
And I really appreciate it, man. I value your friendship, man. It's been awesome getting to know you and PJ, man. So much love, man. And I truly do love Trickster. For all the freaking haters out there, man. God damn, man. You know what I mean? Just, God, get off it. Give Trickster a chance. They freaking rock, man.
It's no
Give
joke.
them some love. They were huge back in the day, man, when I saw you guys on the Cherry Pie tour. People tend to forget, man, how huge it was back then. It was just an awesome time, man.
It was,
Yeah,
and
it really was.
30 plus years later, we're still out there doing it, and I think playing and singing better than we ever have. So
Absolutely, man. I just did a little tribute to you on our last episode, out on the streets with Trickster and Pretty Boy Floyd, man. So it was pretty awesome, man. Yeah, I had a great time.
Thank you.
Yeah, you got it, man. You always got my support. So let's get on with this. Let me since I just brought up out on the streets. I just recently Halloween night went and saw and met John 5. So I'm gonna go ahead right now. And we'll put up that segment.
On the street for a living, pictures only be gone.
Yeah, there it is, man. I went and saw John 5 at the House of Blues, man. He was awesome. He tore it up, man. He tore it up. I saw Ritchie Kotzen, and he was awesome. He was great, honestly. I'm not the biggest fan as far as knowing his material, but he sounded great, something I'd really like to dive into. But yeah, had a great time meeting John, and it was awesome. He knew the Syncin Stanley thing.
Of course, everybody in the Kiss world does.
For better or worse, they do. Yes,
that's right. It's better. It's a good thing. You know, we all know, man. Laughter is the best medicine, and you got the ultimate seal of approval when Uncle Gene Simmons summoned you to do some Syncin Stanley that he was going to send to Paul. So, you know,
yes,
look, man, we all those guys and all of us in rock and roll, man, a sense of humor is one of the most important elements that you have for survival in this business. So
it is, man.
If you can't, if you can't laugh at yourself, who can you laugh at or laugh with? You know?
Exactly. Well said, man. Well said, man. All right, Wang, I know you're chomping at the bit. What you got, Wang?
No, man. Yeah, I mean, but I'm just fascinated with the fact that our guest basically was the man that responsible for his last album, and he's so close to him and everything. And I got a lot of questions for our guest. The gold-selling album, I might add. This gentleman has a gold-selling album, so not many of us can say that. But anyways, what was that?
Yeah, I was gonna say it should be well over platinum by now, but we sadly Universal doesn't give us any royalty statements.
Well, the RIAA is I know what you're saying, brother man. It was probably 1990 that album was certified gold, maybe 91 if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, 91.
Yeah, and then 3 top 100 Billboard 100 hits, I might add.
Yep.
But, you know, just being real. But anyways, so I do a thing on these records. Generally speaking, we focus on records. Well, since we're focusing on somebody that means so much to us and we all love him so much and everything, I'm going to do a situation where I'm going to talk about the day Ace Frehley was born. Friday, April 27th, 1951, the year of our Lord in New York City. And I want to just go back in time, something that we haven't done this far back. I think we've gone back to the 70s. I'm ready to go to the 60s, but we've gone to the 70s. But here we go. The #1 movie in our great country, all three of us on that great day and that great year, directed by Vincente Minnelli, the sequel to the 1950 movie Father of the Bride. The #1 movie in the United States of America was Father's Little Dividend. It starred Spencer Tracy, Joan Bennett, and a very young Elizabeth Taylor.
Wow.
Yeah, and do you guys know that the #1 TV show back on that great day, on that great year?
Leave It to Beaver?
No, I think that was 58 that started, 58.
That came much later.
Yeah, anyways, the #1 TV show in our great country was a comedy variety show, and it was called the Texaco Star Theater, starring Milton Berle, Mr. Television. This show ran on television from 1948 to 1956. It had a radio run, I believe, I didn't write this, but I think 38 to 48 was radio. And let me ask you guys a question. Do you guys know what the #1 album was on that great day and that great year?
No clue.
Steve Brown, gold artist. What do you think?
I'm gonna go. Let's go Jersey. Let's keep it in Jersey. I'm gonna say a record by Frank Sinatra.
Okay, at least you're playing along. Thank you, brother man. No, and just for the record, back in 1951, it was not called the Billboard 100 or 200. Excuse me. Back then, it was called in Billboard. It was still Billboard, but it was called Best-Selling Popular Records Album. So that was that. And this album was 69 weeks at #1 back in that glorious era. Wow. It was composed by Richard Rodgers and recorded by Izio Pinza and Mary Martin. Like I said, 69 weeks. The album is called South Pacific Original Cast. There you go.
Wow.
Yeah, and in closing with this segment, the number one song on April 27th, 1951, the year of our Lord. The song was released in 1949, but it was number one on that great day when Ace was born. The song was by Les Paul and Mary Ford, and Syncin Family Pride playing in the background. And the song is called How High the Moon. How High the Moon.
That's awesome, man. I got a little caveat. To add to this.
Hey, let me hear that caveat, Syncin Family.
This is very interesting. Hear me out now. I don't usually look up your pop culture, but something made me do a little research, and I looked at what movies were released in the year of 1951. Mm-hmm. 3 of the movies were. Check this out. One of them was called Ace in the Hole. One of them was called A Streetcar Named Desire. We know what song that's from and what Ace did a cover of it. And then the other song was The Day the Earth Stood Still. Imagine that, about an alien coming to all 1951 movie releases. I was like, wow, that is too cool. That's
amazing.
Because I did a meme of Ace as Klaatu Nektu standing in front of this spaceship and with Gort, and I put Ace's face on him. So it blew my mind that those movies were released on his the year of his birth. Awesome.
That's amazing. And in closing on this segment, the NFL champions of the 1951 season were the Los Angeles Rams over the Cleveland Browns. The NBA champions were the Rochester Royals over the New York Knicks. Major League Baseball, the World Series was the New York Yankees over the New York Giants. Joe DiMaggio, Mickey Mantle against Willie Mays. And in closing, the Stanley Cup champions were the Toronto Maple Leafs. There you go. Bam!
Wow. Awesome, man.
Excellent job.
What?
Thank you, brother.
I love the ferocity in your voice and the cutting tone. It's perfect.
Thanks, man.
He's got
brother.
passion, man. He's got passion. Just like me, man. We're passionate about our Kiss, man. Yep. Even though we're not a full-on Kiss podcast, we are Kiss-centric. That's for sure.
Yep.
Yes, sir.
All right, man. Why don't we get into this? Why don't we get into our list of our top 10 Kiss not Kiss albums, Ace Frehley of album appearances. Wang?
Yeah, basically, Steve, I came up with this concept, and I wanted to make it our favorite top 10 albums that Ace appeared on. That could be Wendy O. Williams, a solo, so on and so forth. But then Syncin Stanley started talking about putting, I wanted to focus on studio records, but Syncin Stanley started fighting me. What about the live records? That's sort of cheating, man, because for most people it'd be 1 and 2, a live 1, a live 2, so on and so forth. So whatever, but my situation is studio records, and you want me to start out, or do you want our distinguished guest to start?
Oh man, we have to let our guests start. Man.
Exactly.
Guest always goes first. Steve Brown, what is your number 10 Ace Frehley related album?
My number 10, I think I'm gonna go with the debut Frehley's Comet record.
Wow. Okay.
I think that was, again, that was a cool time, after 4 years he was kind of in retirement not retirement, but kind of on hiatus, putting the band together. And I think when did the Frehley's Comet record come out? 87?
87.
Yeah,
87.
Yeah. So I remember that, and I remember Into the Night was the first single, right?
Yep.
Russ Ballard tune. I thought that was great, and there's some really great stuff on that record. Todd Hallworth and John Reagan and Anton were integral parts of making that record. Some really, really cool songs.
Did you get to see them around that time since you lived in the area, or you guys were?
Sadly, I did not, man. I didn't go see. I think what did they tour? Didn't they tour opening up for Iron Maiden and do a bunch of headlines?
Yeah, but I would have thought maybe you living in New Jersey, you might have caught some of those early shows. Maybe when Ritchie was in the band at first.
Yeah, I mean, I did not, and it was a kind of a weird time for me because I was sort of, when he left Kiss, 83 and then 84, I was still a little too young. Like, I didn't have the ability to drive around. I mean, I had already started Trickster at that time, and Pete, our singer, and my best friend Jimmy DeSalvo, who's sadly no longer with us, they were 4 years older. So when I was 12, they were 4 years, 16, right? Is that right? Am I doing the math right?
I think so.
Yeah. So 16, 17, and then when they got their driver's license, then it was like I was 13. So around 83, 84 is when we started going to shows. But yeah, I didn't have the ability to get to certain places to see Ace. So I remember during those years, the only time I saw Ace play was and it was one of the first times that I ever really officially met him, was backstage at the Meadowlands Arena on the Bon Jovi Skid Row tour when Ace came out and did Cold Gin with Skid Row at the Meadowlands in 1988.
Wow, how awesome to be there for that.
Yeah, it was so cool, man. I remember going in, I was in the dressing room with those guys, because I think you guys know that John Bon Jovi was like the first big supporter of Trickster, and he introduced us to the Skid Row guys, and we all became like, brothers and whatnot.
Yeah.
But
Pete gave him your demo, right?
Yeah, he did. And so that night I was backstage, and Snake comes to me. He goes, "Hey, Steve, you want to come meet Ace?" And I'm like, "What? Are you kidding me?" And I remember man, just coming in. I was in the dressing room already, and Ace was in the back. I think he was with Monique, if I remember correctly. But I went backstage, and Snake grabs me. "Oh, Ace, this is my friend Steve. He's in the band Trickster. He's a great guitar player." And I'll never forget it. That classic Ace voice, and he was in such a good mood. And he just puts out his hand. And he goes, "Hey, Steve, I'm Ace. Nice to meet you." Just like that. And it was like, and then a half hour later, he's on stage with Skid Row playing Cold Gin.
Wow. Did the cat get your tongue when you first met him?
Not really. I mean, I was just like, "Hey, cool, man." I was just so happy,
It did with me, man. I was just like so starstruck when as soon as I met him, man, I was just like,
How many?
Yeah, exactly.
Did you do the Chris Farley where when he met Paul McCartney? "Hey, you remember that time you were in Kiss? That was cool."
No, I didn't do that.
Oh yes, you did. Admit it.
You should have.
Nah, man. I met him first on the Just for Fun tour in '93.
Yeah.
I hooked up with Ritchie Scarlett. Me and him hit it off because we were from the same area of New York.
Right.
And he played a lot of the bars that my stepdad tended bar at. So we immediately hit it off, and it was like, wow. Next thing you know, I'm in the club, and Ritchie's like, "Hey, Timmy." He's calling me Timmy, that old New York thing. Yeah. "Hey, Timmy, do you know anybody that can play bass?" I said, "Shit, I play guitar. I can probably fumble through some bass." So he's like, "Let's rock." And I got up there on stage and played bass with him, just stumbling through some Hendrix tunes.
That's awesome.
It was awesome, but it was also a little horrendous too. But it was a great memory. And then I drove him around town, and he told me to come to the bus before the show. He brought me on the bus, brought me in the back, and there was Ace putting his Smoking Les Paul together. And he's sitting on one of the bunks, and I sat on the other bunks, and Ritchie said, "Here's Tim. He's been helping us out all day." And Ace looks up, he's like, "Hey, how you doing? Thanks for helping us out." It was freaking awesome, dude. And then that was it. I couldn't speak. But I hung on the bus till showtime, and he signed some stuff for me, and it's freaking awesome, man. Yeah, buddy. All right, Wang, what's your number 10 album?
Yeah, you know what? I was conflicted. I had, and not to copy our distinguished guest, but I had Unmasked and the first Frehley's Comet album battling for number 10. But man, I just, since it's Ace and everything, and probably I'm being caught up in the emotions and everything, I'm going to pick Frehley's Comet's first album. That's the first time I saw my idol since I was a little kid in the 70s. And I'm going to go with that album, the first Frehley's Comet album. Bam.
Awesome, man. Awesome. Well, you know, I'm going to go with my number 10 as 10,000 Volts.
There you go.
I love the album. And it's not, for me, it's not just the music. It was the experience of actually being in the car with Steve saying, hey, Tim, check out this song with Anton on drums. It was Ace texting me demos of Cherry or rough mixes, whatever, of Cherry's Medicine, of what else did he text me? Life's a Stranger, and Walking on the Moon. And I mean, all that with the fact that it freaking rocks. I don't care what anybody says. The album is solid as can be, man. And I just love it, man. So yeah, 10,000 Volts for me. Number 10. All right, cool. Steve. Number 9, buddy.
Number 9, I'm gonna go with Trouble Walking.
Ooh, nice.
And I'm gonna go with that because I really like a lot of the record. There was some really good songs in it, and it sort of has a Trickster connection, which I don't think a lot of you might even know. But
what's that?
The title track, Trouble Walking, was written by Bill Ray, who was the guy who produced the first Trickster record. My very good friend, still to this day.
Awesome.
And he wrote, I'm trouble walking, I'm everybody's nightmare. Yeah, that was written by Bill Ray. Yep.
That is awesome, man.
And every time I hear that song, as much as I think of Ace and I love it, you know, all I see is Bill Ray singing that because I think I heard the original demo of it. And
that's awesome.
But yeah, there's a lot of great songs on Trouble Walking. And, you know, I think I like the production really too. But again, that's sort of, you know, another solid record.
That album was recorded where I used to live in New York, in Hurley, New York. I lived in Kingston. It was literally recorded like down the road from where I lived in an old church called Dream something.
Right.
Yeah, Dreamtime.
Oh, yeah, I remember that studio.
Yeah, it's a real pretty studio in an old church, yeah.
I'm trouble walking.
Yeah.
And that had, you had the cover, Do Ya, you know, the ELO cover, which was killer. Great. I just listened to that the other day. Yeah, great stuff. Great record, as Ace would say. Yeah, it's a great record.
It is. It's a great record. All right, Wang, what's your number 9?
Yeah, before I get to number 9, I want to piggyback Syncin Stanley. You mentioned 10,000 volts. I have a little zip gun here. Volts. My question to Steve Brown, I know I can't keep asking these questions or else this podcast is going to be 20 hours long. But Steve, if you could tell us what you remember about the creation of the amazing song Fighting for Life. If you could just tell us a couple anecdotes, something that hasn't been out in the public, generally speaking. So what do you remember about the creation of that song and then the evolution of what it became and how it became on the record, if you don't mind?
That was one of the original first 4 or 5 ideas that I sent to Ace when we started working together. So it was what became Walking on the Moon, because what I originally sent him it wasn't originally titled Walking on the Moon, but Fighting for Life was definitely one. That was one of the first ones, and I remember when I finished that, I played it for a couple friends of mine who are huge Kiss fans. I said, what do you think of this idea? What do you think if I sent this to Ace? They were like, Definitely. That is awesome. And that's what I was going for, something that, I think what we were kind of going for me. And again, I've said this numerous times. What I tried to do with 10,000 volts was I envisioned what would we all want as Kiss fans, as Ace fans, what kind of songs would we want to hear? What's going to excite everybody? And that's what I did. And, Fighting for Life was definitely the one. And interesting, that was the second song we started working on. I remember it was 2 days after Christmas in 2022. And I remember it was kind of a tough sell for Ace. He was kind of like, I think because the vocal was high and, it was a little out of his range, or maybe he had to work a little harder, and I kind of told him, I said, dude, your voice, when you get up high, man, you have this tone that really sounds cool. And once we recorded the vocal and he heard it back, he was like, oh, this is great. And he really fell in love. But initially it was a hard sell. But once we started writing the lyrics, and it was kind of, talking about his upbringing, in the Bronx, which has been well documented, that his Ducky Boys years in the gangs, and, so we kind of, brought that in, and that's really what the song is about, tough life on the streets, and you're fighting for life. It's a dog-eat-dog world every day. And it's turned out to be one of the fan favorites of the record.
Number one fan right here of this song. I love that fucking song.
Yeah,
it's a great song, man. I love it.
Yeah. It's the heaviest song. I love the heaviness of it. It's fucking cool.
Yeah. It's I do too, man. And it was, I still get chills when I hear it. And another interesting fact is we were Ace wanted to do a half-speed version of it, like a slowed down version, if you will. Not acoustic, but something a little bit more, and so I worked up a version of it that we were going to put on, because we, at the time, a couple months after 10,000 Volts came out, we were going to do a deluxe edition of the album. And sadly, I never got his vocal on it, but that was something that we have, so you never know what we could do with that. But yeah, definitely one of my favorites. And again, numerous people, and especially guys that are on different Kiss podcasts and and YouTube shows, they were like, that should have been the first single off the record. And I was like, well, I don't know, that's neither here nor there at this point. It's still a great song, and just so proud of it. Again, I've said it before, and I'll say it till the day I go up to heaven. Working with Ace on 10,000 Volts was without question one of the greatest experiences of my whole musical life. Without
Hell yeah.
And just so proud of it.
Hey, you just touched on something there. I wanted to ask you. You just touched on something that there's other stuff you guys recorded that's not released.
Yeah, I mean, not really. Sadly, we didn't get to do any. I have like five rough ideas that I sent to Ace that were potentially going to be for the follow-up that we were going to start working on after Origins 3. But that's that wasn't meant to be. And yeah, sadly, no, there isn't a lot of leftover. There's some alternate versions. I will say, what's cool, we have 3 different versions of Fighting for Life with 3 different drummers. So originally, wow. Joey Casada did the drums originally, and then I had Kent Slusher, who is Luke Bryan's drummer, and he's also in Quarantine with Chris Jericho, PJ, and the guys. So I had him do a version because Ace was always very, very particular about drumming on certain songs. And then it was, finally it was after that, he was like, something's not right. He's like, we got to get Anton on this. And that was it, and we got Anton, and Ace and Anton have a musical chemistry that is only with them. They don't even need, all Ace kept saying to Anton was, Anton, you know what to do. You know what to do. And wow. And sure enough, like on 10,000 Volts, on Cherry Medicine, I didn't have to give, as a producer, I didn't have to give Anton anything. Ace and him worked that out. And that's their long friendship and their musical chemistry that they've had from day one. You know?
I'd say it's more than chemistry. I'd say it's a legacy, man.
Well, that too, yeah.
Jeez, man. Just undeniable.
Such a cool thing, man. I remember being upstairs in my kitchen. I just was, Ace just got here, and I was cooking lunch. I was making grilled chicken, and he goes, yeah, I got to call Anton. We got to get Anton on this song. And he calls him on the phone. He didn't pick up. Calls back 2 minutes later, and he just puts him on speaker. He goes, hey, Steve, I got Anton. Anton's on the line. And I never met Anton, so it was so cool. Like, and it was just the two, me and Ace up in the kitchen, and Anton on the phone. And we're just talking, and, you know, this is Steve, my co-producer, and I need you to play drums on this song, and, you know, we've had a couple drummers, and it's just not right, you know. And it wasn't anything that Joey or Kent didn't do, because I think their versions are great. So, you know, again, hopefully all this stuff can see the light of day. We have some alternate guitar solos that weren't used, so, you know,
Wow.
Yeah,
Awesome.
We'll see.
Awesome, man. Awesome. All right, Wang. Number 9.
Yes, back to the task at hand. I'm going with the 1981, air quotes, classic, Music from the Elder. Bam.
Oh, yeah.
Wow. Awesome. All right, man. My number 9 would be Frehley's Comet. Ace Frehley, Frehley's Comet. First Frehley's Comet album. Just great memories of, you know, finally seeing them without makeup, you know, and the videos and the magazine ads for the Laney amps and stuff. And like, oh my God, there he is, you know. It's like, wow, yeah. Great time. Great album, man. I love that album. Yeah. All right. Number 8, Steve.
Number 8. Let's go with. I'm gonna go with Room Service. I mean, Dress to Kill.
Cool.
Right on.
Dress to Kill.
Cool.
Yes, I was just, and that's funny because I said Room Service because I was listening to the remaster, you know, the deluxe edition that just came out. I was listening to some of the live stuff, and then I wanted to hear what the remaster sounds like. And I just, first off, and I know there's a lot of us a lot of Kiss fans who love the way we all love the way Dress to Kill sounds. The drums are so much punchier. It's and the songs just, you know, and Room Service is still always one of my favorites.
Oh, it's
Hell
a
yeah.
great song. And I must say, like what I texted you guys, there's a version of anything for my baby that is awesome, man. It sounds real 50s, like you could tell that Neil Bogart mixed that thing to where the chorus sounds real 50s. And then right at the beginning, before Paul sings the first verse, he says, "Listen." That's pretty cool. I was like, oh man, no way. I said, you can't write this. You can't make this stuff up, man. It's awesome. And then there's some banter where Peter's saying something and he's like, and Paul's like, gives him some lip, like, oh, you're going to feel something, you know?
So
yeah, it's so cool, man. Wang, what's your number 8?
Yes, my number 8's going to be the debut album. Sure, everybody shits on the sound and everything, but the songs, you can't miss them. They are fucking classics and everything. Obviously, they did the songs justice on Kiss Alive. We all know that. We've all spoken about that ad nauseum. But yeah, my number 8 pick is 1974's Kiss debut. Bam.
Hell yeah, man. My number 8, Trouble Walking. Got to give it to Trouble Walking, man. It's freaking awesome. And like I explained earlier, the memories that come with that, you know, 93, meeting them. And then again in 95, I got to do the same thing, meet them. He stayed in my town for 5 days in 95 on the Bad Boys tour. Him and Peter, man, Ace stayed in Howard Johnson's. Peter stayed in the Days Inn, and they ate at Shoney's. I go in to use the bathroom at Shoney's, man, and it says that he carved in the store, in the stall, "Here I sit, broken-hearted, came to shit, but only spotted Ace." And I was like, holy crap. I was like,
shit.
no way. But I got to do a bunch of stuff for them when they were in town. I brought some stuff. Richie had me bring stuff up to Ace's room. I drove Richie and his wife to the movies. Again, all this stuff ties into Trouble Walking and that whole era. Peter, I met Peter. I'll just leave the negative stuff out. It wasn't a great experience. But we'll just leave it at that. But Peter more than made up for it a few years later. So, but yeah, Trouble Walking for me. All right, number 7, Steve.
Number 7, Steve. What am I going to go with? Let's go with Dynasty.
Oh man, right on. No way. All right.
Dynasty is special for me because, you know, that was the first time I saw Kiss, was 1979. And, you know, I mean, 78 was really when I first heard them. You know, Rock and Roll Over, and we'll get to that, but Rock and Roll Over was the first thing. But 79 was when I saw them, and that was when, you know, it was just things were opening up for me, you know, as far as, you know, I learned this thing where if I faked being sick, I could stay home and see Kiss on the Dinah Shore show the next day. 'Cause if you guys remember, at that time, they were on every variety show, and they would do these pre-recorded things. Remember, Billy Crystal interviewed them backstage at the Forum, and I remember faking that I was sick so I could stay home from school to watch it, and I recorded it with my boombox.
Nice.
Wow.
But yeah,
Wow.
Dynasty, love Dynasty. You know, Ace 2000 Man, just incredible. His version of that, still the original. Hearing that again, it's such a great cover, and to get to play that with him at Creatures Fest a couple years ago, and that was the whole event, and that moment of me playing with Ace, with Joey Casada and a couple other guys, the Sisters Doll guys. That's what started everything getting in motion for Ace and I to work together.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. And we got to say how good Dynasty sounded. The production. Oh, man, dude, I love it. I love the way that record sounds.
It's so great, and forget, you know, I Was Made for Loving You, and I always love that song.
I love it too.
Never shit talk it, always love it. But the other songs on the record, so many great. And I think a lot of that had to do. Vinny Poncia was a song guy, and he knew how to craft pop songs, and oh man, just so many great songs on that record. Still love it, but again, it's mostly near and dear to my heart because that's when I saw Kiss the second night at the Madison Square Garden, July 25th, 1979. It was one of those life-changing moments.
Awesome, man. All right, Wang, number 7.
You lucky motherfucker. The first time I saw Kiss was Easter Sunday, 1983, about a half mile south from where I am right now. The Creatures of the Night tour with Motley Crue opening. So you're very lucky. I wish I could have saw that. I'm old enough, but my parents were very strict, man. Very strict. So, I mean, very strict. But anyways, my number 7 is 1976's Kiss Destroyer. Bam.
Hell yeah, man. Can't go wrong with that.
No way, Jose.
Number 7 for me, same as Steve. Dynasty, man. Go figure. Dynasty was awesome. I remember ordering it through my sister through Columbia House. I'm sure everybody remembers that.
Yeah.
Yep, and it came with everything. It had the poster, the order form. It was awesome, man. I also almost got to see him because my dad worked for IBM in North Carolina, and he said, Tim, man, if you come down this summer, I'll take you to see Kiss. I can get free tickets through my work. Didn't happen. Mom wouldn't let me go. So, just one of those things. Yeah. So I had to wait for the Hot in Shade tour to see him for the first time, unfortunately. But hey, at least I got to see the reunion tour with the makeup. So, but yeah, Dynasty for me, man. Like I said, I love the production. It's so crisp and clear, man. And the Ace songs, man. 2000 Man, Hard Times, Save Your Love is my favorite song on the album. The solos on freaking Dirty Living. Oh my God. The solo on Charisma. Jeez.
So
Hell
good.
yeah.
So
Hell yeah.
awesome, man. Dynasty rules, man. All right, we're getting down there. Number 6, Steve. Number 6, getting harder.
Getting harder. Yeah. Number 6. I think we're gonna go with. I'm trying to. I think number 6. I'm gonna have to go with Unmasked.
Wow.
And, yeah, another record that totally underrated. I think now it gets more credit than it ever did because I think first off the production. I think the production's even better than Dynasty. The mix is fatter and it's got that real full range. And again the songs. And I think for Ace, it's got some of his best and most melodic singing songs. Talk to Me. Still, I love that, and I got to do that down at Kiss Cancer Goodbye. I got to sing
buddy,
that
I
song.
saw it.
Love that song. Two Sides of the Coin, just so cool. And that was Ace doing the open G tuning, the Keith Richards thing, which was also very unique that a lot of people don't realize. And
Torpedo Girl, he played
Torpedo
the bass
Girl,
on.
of course.
He
But
played
the whole
bass.
record and everything and just great playing and it was and again I know that was a weird time for Kiss and and that was that was also where Anton Fig was in Kiss for one day. I think the story is.
Right.
And I love that album, man. A lot of people knock Holly Knight's keyboard playing, but I think it fits, man. I love it, man. And yeah, Holly Knight called me a meathead, so yeah, that's cool.
She's not lying.
No, she's not lying. I mean, hey, man, if you say something against our boys, I'm going to call you out. She said that Anton was a much better drummer than Peter Criss, and yeah, technically he is, but you don't have to say that out there. Don't knock Peter Criss at this stage of the game.
She said Syncin Sally. She said that in 1980. What about 1975 Peter Criss? Bam.
Yeah, really. Wow. Yeah. But anyway, we're not going to sit here and go over stuff like that. So, but yeah.
There you go.
So number 6, Wang.
Yeah, number 6, our distinguished guest picks earlier. I'm going with the 1975 classic Dress to Kill. With all the hoopla with the box set and everything, and everybody hearing all this crazy cool shit, and especially that one country song. I love that shit.
Mistake.
Yeah, it sounds like something off Rolling Stones. Some Girls. I love that shit.
Totally.
But yeah, Dress to Kill. Bam.
Hell yeah, man. I love Dress to Kill. Unfortunately, it didn't make my list, but I love that album, man. Oh my god. Number 6 was a toss-up for me. It was like, do I go Unmasked? I wanted to put Unmasked on the list, but I didn't. I mean, I got it as an honorable mention. I had to put Love Gun on the list. I just had to put Love Gun on the list for Shock Me. I mean, it's his iconic first vocal on record. And what an amazing song, an amazing solo. And then all the other solos on the album, the dueling solo on I Stole Your Love, where him and Paul, share a solo. It's incredible, man, incredible. The Love Gun solo. I mean, on and on and on. Yeah. Christine 16, pretty much mocking what Eddie Van Halen played. Ace did it. It sounded great, man. Got to give him props, man. Incredible playing. All right. Now we're getting down there. Number 5, Steve.
5 for me. I think I'm gonna have to go with Alive, of course.
Wow.
In New York City.
Yeah, Alive. Just again, and I know that you guys probably want deeper things. I don't know. It's too obvious, but just incredible. Alive is one of the greatest live records ever made.
It is.
No other live record I mean, and I believe, and the same goes with Kiss Alive too. Those are two of my favorite live records that were ever made. When we all know that they're really not live records, but like Paul and they've said, what they do is it captures the feeling of being there. And I can't think of any other live record that both those live records that do that. But Alive for me is just, and I heard Alive about a year or two after I heard Kiss Alive 2. So it's kind of, for me, it was Kiss Alive 2 first and going backwards, but just love it. Ace's guitar playing on it is just off the charts, and everybody, but again, it's just incredible. And it's one of those things, like, if I as a guitar player and sometimes a guitar teacher, if someone asked me, a record that I should listen to, if you want to learn, I would say, for an intermediate guitar player to take yourself to the next level, I would say listen to Kiss Alive and learn every song, the rhythms, because the rhythm guitar playing is great, and Ace's lead guitar playing is just off the charts.
Incredible. It is. Yeah. All right. Cool. Wang, you're number 5.
Yes, my number 5. You guys brought it up. Very controversial album, but as hindsight being 2020, it's not as disco as everybody said. It's Dynasty. It's Dynasty, and it has such a personal connection. My mother waking me up on a school night at 1 a.m. to watch the Tomorrow Show. My family, like I've said on our podcast many, many times, my family is very intertwined with my Kissdom. Seeing Kiss Halloween night in '98, the first night of the Psycho Circus tour with my father, the greatest man ever lived. So it's very personal, very personal. But Dynasty, I love Dynasty. Number 5, bam!
Hell yeah,
Bam.
Dynasty, man. Dynasty got some love from all 3 of us. My number 5, though, is the classic Rock and Roll Over. Now, you might say, well, Ace didn't really contribute many songs to this album. But
he played lead guitar and all of it.
He contributed some of the best freaking guitar solos on this album. This album, produced by Eddie Kramer. Everything pops on this album. You can hear everything. Man, his solos, like for calling Dr. Love the big old, what do you call that? Like the Brontosaurus sound.
The dinosaur bend.
Yeah.
Dinosaur bend.
I mean, Baby Driver, the solos, the outros. Oh my God, man. It's just solo after solo on this album. Making Love. Holy cow. He was freaking just shredding. Yeah. Rock and Roll Over for me. Hell yeah. All right. Steve, number 4.
Number 4. Well, we're gonna stick with. We're gonna have to stick with the live record. So I'm gonna have to go to Kiss Alive 2 now. And Kiss Alive 2 for me is so special because that was the second Kiss album I got, and that was the experience. Seeing that cover, those 4 pictures, Gene especially with the blood down his face, so powerful. And opening up that record, seeing it, and the credits, and then the evolution of Kiss, the book that's inside of it, and then putting the record on and listening to it and the sound. One thing that stands out to me is, first off, how great the guitars sound. They're so crunchy, tons of top end, but Peter's snare drum, that is the best sounding snare drum that on any Kiss record. There's something about the way those songs sound on Live 2, and it just still to this day, every time I listen to it, it brings me back to 1978, some of the greatest times of my life as a kid, and hearing that. And then for Ace, this is something I've said all along. If there's one song that anybody who doesn't know anything about Ace or Kiss needs to hear, it's the live version of Shock Me on Kiss Alive 2, because it's the best version of the song as far as I'm concerned, and of course the iconic guitar solo that's on it. and that era, and it's very unique and very, very. A lot of people, I don't know, or maybe they do, but it's 1977 when it was recorded, and he's tapping, and doing it. And Ace was, Ace was tapping back in 1974 and 75, but very much
with a pick.
Yeah, and
with the pick.
Just the solo is it's just everything, and again, those were the hearing that solo again, and that was right about the time that I discovered Van Halen as well, and hearing both those were monumental moments in my life for telling my mom I want to take guitar lessons, and that's where it all started for me. So that was a Kiss Alive 2, and to me, the definitive Ace Frehley song of the Kiss era, which is the live version of Shock Me with that guitar solo.
Wow. Awesome, man. All right, Wang, what you got?
Yes, sir. Yeah, number 4. And just a caveat, I have questions for our distinguished guest at the back end that don't have anything to do with Ace. I want to get his opinion, and one of my questions is about Van Halen, so be prepared there, Steve.
Okay.
I'm coming at you. But number 4. Yeah, exactly. Number 4, we're talking Kiss Love Gun. The first record I got brand new, or a couple of weeks after it came out. That's what changed my life and everything. And Kiss Love Gun. Bam.
Hell yeah. My number 4 is I think was Steve's number 5. Kiss Alive. And just like Steve, I got it after I got Alive too. I didn't get Alive until about late 77. I probably got it. I got it at Record Giant in the Kings Mall in Kingston, New York. I don't know if you know that area, Steve.
I do. I know it very well, man. I know it.
Yeah. I used to go up there and I got quite a few records there. Unmasked too was the last album I got in New York before I moved to Florida. And but Alive, God, man, I put that on and it just took me away, man. The way the solos jumped out of the record, his solos, man. I just remember sitting there in my bedroom window looking out over my backyard on the second story, thinking my backyard was an arena, sitting there playing air guitar, just crazy, man. It's Alive rules, man. Will always be near and dear. All right, now number 3, Steve.
This is an easy one for me. It's Rock and Roll Over, for reasons, and again, there's no Ace. I don't think he has any songwriting credits on that.
No,
record, does he?
Yeah.
No songwriting credits, but like Tim was saying, his guitar solos. The guitar solos are just and Dr. Love. And so Rock and Roll Over for me was the first time I heard Kiss. And I have let me show you this.
Wow. Uh-oh. Going to get the artifacts. The artifacts.
Ooh,
so
love it.
This isn't the exact one that I had, but
okay.
Ace signed this for me, and it says Your First Kiss. And this was the record that completely changed my life forever. And hearing those songs, and I vividly remember, hearing Calling Dr. Love, and when that guitar solo came in, it was just one of those things where I felt something, and it was like, Steve, you need to learn how to do that. And again, Ace and Eddie Van Halen were the 2 reasons that I started playing guitar. And a lot of those guitar solos on that record, still to this day, are some of the best that Ace ever did. And the songs, I think any real Kiss fan, Rock and Roll Over's got to be one of their top 3 albums, because just the songs. And the fact that they're so well constructed and short and to the point, no fat on any of them, and that was the beginning of when Kiss was taking over the world. So it was, again, still, but for me it was a paramount moment in my life, hearing that record and it was that this is what I'm going to do for the rest of my life. So,
Yeah.
thank you,
you
Rock
mentioned
and Roll Over.
and the solos, like you mentioned the solos, but that's so the rhythm guitar, man.
Oh,
It's so crunchy. That crunch, like Dr. Love, the opening chords, man. It's just like it sounds so powerful, man. It's just jumps out at you.
Yeah.
And then you're looking at that stellar album cover, by the way. And you can just sit there and flip it any way you want. It's just freaking awesome. Yeah. All right, Wang, you're number 3.
Yes, sir. I'm number 3. Let's go back in time to late 1974. We're talking Hotter Than Hell. Hotter Than Hell is everybody bitches and moans about the sound and everything, but it's so dark, so heavy, so gloomy, and there's some songs that they're a little doomy. Doom.
Oh yeah.
And of course, who can fucking not wax poetic about the amazing solo on Strange Ways? Sick as fuck.
Oh, unbelievable.
That's my number 3, guys. Bam!
Hell yeah.
Bam, motherfucker.
My number 3, sticking with the Alive albums, Alive 2. Alive 2, my stepbrother got Alive 2 before me for Christmas, and I was just like crushed. I'm like, I wanted that album. So my birthday rolls around, and my great sister, God rest her soul, man, she got me Alive 2, Rock and Roll Over, and Destroyer.
Wow.
Bam!
Wow.
Talk about
Bam.
a trifecta, man. I was in music heaven for months, man. And that Alive 2, like you said, the Ace shocked me. Best version, the solo. But we can't underestimate the power of the solo, of the studio songs, and the fact that we got Rocket Ride.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Rocket Ride. What a killer solo, man. What a killer guitar solo. I mean, awesome. Bob did a great job on his songs, but that Rocket Ride just stands out like a sore thumb. A great sore thumb. Amazing. Kiss Alive 2, that gatefold, it'll always do it for me, man. You just open that gatefold, you're like, rock and roll heaven, man. That's it. Yeah. All right, number 2. Down to number 2, Steve.
Oh shit!
What's it gonna be?
This is an easy one for me. 10,000 volts without question.
Oh, there you go.
Wow.
I have to. I don't think anybody in my position would say anything different.
I thought it'd be your number 1.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
But 10,000 volts, again, near and dear to my heart. Again, one of the greatest experiences of my life. And Ace and I had so much fun making that record. A lot of it was made right here. Me and Ace sitting playing guitar, Ace doing his vocals right here.
Wow.
And it's so special. And I got my Kiss pinball machine over there, and just incredible memories. But at the end of the day, it's the music and the songs. So let's get into that. The first song we worked on was "Walking on the Moon," and that was what set everything in motion. And then "Fighting for Life," and then 10,000 volts. And all I can say is that Ace was, we worked so well together, so fast. When he came here, or I went to his studio in Sparta, we would just get down to work. We'd have some coffee, and we would listen, and it was always one song at a time. That was the one thing Ace told me. We're going to do one song. I can't multitask and do that. So let's do one song at a time. And it just kept building momentum. And I just remember every time we would finish a song, and then we'd send it to the label. And of course, Ace would always send it. And I didn't even know this, that he was sending it to various people, all of his friends, sending them the roughs, because I'm not a big fan of that. And I didn't even know about it. And then all of a sudden, I'm getting texts from people going, "Yeah, dude, I heard this new song, Cherry Medicine. It's great. I heard this new song. I heard that cover tune you're working on." I'm like, how did you hear that? But 10,000 volts, again, and really, after that first day of work, Ace said to me, he said, Steve, all I want to make sure is that every song on this record is great. I don't want any, throwaway songs. And I said, listen, man, and this was one of the moments where we really connected. I looked him right in the eye and I said, listen, man, if you trust me and you listen to me, and I will trust you and listen to you, if we work together, we're going to write these songs and we're going to have fun. I promise you, we're going to make one of the best records of your career. And sadly, it's this is the last all original recorded album. But it's crazy to think that there were times when I said to him after we were done with the record, because we were so relieved and so happy, that I said, hey man, if you never make another record again, at least this is the perfect bookend for your career. And those words ring true now. But again, for me, one of the greatest experiences of my life. I'll never ever forget it, and just so honored to work with one of my heroes. Man, the 8-year-old kid in me, a couple times when I was at Ace's studio working with him, I was sitting there just going, I can't believe it's happening.
I bet.
And again, and at the end of it all, we had so much fun making the record, and it was so cool to see a guy who 71, 72, when we started working on that record, be like a little kid, recording and ideas. I want to do this, I want to do that. And it wasn't just guitar, it was drum ideas. I have, when we were working on that song Constantly Cute, he programmed the drum machine how he wanted, and watching Ace try to program a drum machine, I'll never ever forget it. But again, some of the greatest memories of my, my rock and roll life. And, so 10,000 volts. Bam, bam, boom, bam.
And I got to tell you, man, he was proud of that album, though. He wouldn't have been sending somebody like me, those songs if he wasn't proud of them. I mean, he wanted to get a fan's opinion, but you could tell just the way he talked about it, from what he talked about it to me with. He's just so proud of that album, man. So that's awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah. You got it, man.
Thank you, Ace.
Yeah, buddy. Oh, Wang, number 2.
Yeah, number 2. To piggyback on our distinguished guest, I could only, if I'm being honest, how the fuck could you not pick an album that you fucking produced with your childhood idol? And you know what I'm saying? Yeah,
that'd be number 1 for me.
Yeah, exactly. And I thought that was very admirable that he didn't say number 1, but no, a lot of excitement with that album. A lot of excitement, and it was, I really enjoyed that record. I really did. Not a big fan of the ones that preceded it, if I'm being honest. There's a lot of songs on that record I like. I'm not going to say I like Constantly Cute. We did with all due respect, we did the 10,000 volts review, and Syncin Stanley loves Constantly Cute, but Constantly Cute, I kind of tagged on it, but just being real and everything. But a phenomenal last album to go out with, and you should be very proud of your and I'm not going to get into it, but at the time there was a lot of controversy. Exactly how much did Steve Brown have to do with this album? And you don't have to comment, but you know what I'm talking about. You had a lot of jealous people. I saw you on a very popular Kiss podcast, and then after your thing, shit would hit the fan, and this and that. It's like, nah, man. Homeboy was just fucking putting his heart and soul into it. So I knew exactly what you were saying, brother, man. Because I'm intelligent. I'm Bill Wang. I have a brain. But
that's right. Yeah. So
I remember that like it was yesterday. It's like, oh shit, the shit hit the fan, and I thought you handled that very professionally and humbly, and bit your tongue. You bit your tongue on a lot of things. Maybe am I right?
I know about that.
Exactly.
I told the truth. I mean,
exactly.
Whatever the case may be, none of it matters now. At the end of
exactly.
the day, my job as a producer is to make the best record that the artist wants to make. And I've said it, and I'll say it again. Ace had final say over everything. It was his record.
Right. I just think it would be a disservice and a dishonesty on my part not to at least bring that up, if you know what I'm saying.
Of course, man. I have thick skin, dude, and I'm built for it. It's all
right on,
good,
right on, right on.
No negativity on that, because at the end of the day, the music and the songs will, again, like all of Ace's stuff, stand the test of time, and that's what this is about.
Amen.
Amen. Amen, Steve Brown. Amen. All right, my number two, and another situation where I have to be honest. My number two has been my number one forever, and the number one was basically number two, and so on and so forth. And maybe I'm caught up with all the stuff and the emotions and everything. I'm gonna pick number two as Rock and Roll Over. Bam.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. And to add on to another thing that Bill said about the previous Ace solo records before you produced 10,000 Volts, they didn't have the continuity in their production. It seemed like they were a piece produced here, a piece produced there. What you brought to 10,000 Volts was continuity. It all flowed.
Agreed.
It had the same, everything sounded like it was recorded together, obviously in the same studio. You know what I mean? You brought continuity back to Ace, like he had on, which he didn't have previously until Trouble Walking was the last album that really had that continuity that 10,000 Volts had.
Yeah, we got to give Bruno Ravel, who mixed it. You know, Bruno from Danger, and the Defiance, who did a phenomenal job mixing the record. And again, that was, you know, bringing in my team of musicians who played on the record, and Bruno, who was the one who did the final mixes and the mastering. That took it. You know, it was already a phenomenal record, but he took it to another level and sonically. And I remember when we listened to the mix comparison of someone else who mixed one of the songs and then Bruno's mix, Ace completely was like, what am I hearing? He goes, and that speaks volumes about, you know, about it and the record. So thank you for that. Thanks for noticing.
Awesome. Yeah, no problem. All right, my number two, my very first Kiss album that I bought, and Steve will appreciate this. I was 5 years old in Shokian, New York. I lived at the time before I moved to Kingston, and I was 5 years old, and I got whatever money, my allowance, whatever money I scrounged up, and I went down to Caldor. Remember Caldor?
Caldor. Oh my God.
Caldor, and I said, what am I going to get? First Kiss album, I'm getting it. And I just thumbed through them, and Hotter Than Hell popped at me. The album cover with, you know, the Japanese theme, the fingers, the pictures on the back. Ace and G looked so cool. You know, Peter's there with, you know, a semi-naked chick. I'm like, I got to get this album. Even at 5 years old, I said, I got to have this. I brought it home. Fell in love with it, man. It's been one of my favorite. It's my favorite Kiss album. I mean, as far as Kiss, you know, I love the sound of it. It gets shit on, but God, it sounds so different, so heavy, so murky. I just love it, man. Songs like Watching You, Strange Ways, you know, Parasite. Oh my God, Ace's solos, incredible. Hotter Than Hell for me. Love it. All right. Here we are. Number one. Are we all going to be unanimous?
Drum roll. Syncin Stanley, drum roll.
This is going to be Here we go, man. I see it sitting back there. I see it
there
sitting
it is.
there.
You know, I mean, without question, you know, the 78 solo record. Rip It Out. Again, a definitive Ace Frehley song. Ace and Anton at their best. And just magic. And again, still every time I hear that song and the album version, and I love anytime when they play it live. It's one of those songs that always makes the hair on my arm stand up, and I just get that feeling. You know, again, like when you hear the live version, when I hear the live version, Shock Me. When I hear Rip It Out, when that riff and when Ace starts singing, just, oh man. And I got to play, I've got to play that with him a couple times, and I played it, the first time I got to play it with him was with my, this 80s band that I was playing in Rubik's Cube years ago. Right after Creatures Fest, Ace came and did a private party with us. And when we played Rip It Out, man, I was just like, it was like one of the first times I ever played Photograph with Def Leppard. It was just that incredible feeling where I'm just sitting there going, dun, 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 bam, 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 and seeing Ace. And then when his voice kicked in, again, I'm getting excited talking about it. But yeah, the 78 solo record, you can't go wrong. It's the definitive. If there's one album that anybody who needs to get an education on who Ace was as a singer, songwriter, guitar player, bass player, he played bass on the record on a lot of it, and just, incredible. And him and Eddie Kramer did so many cool production things, and that was always something funny when we were making 10,000 Volts. He would always, once in a while, he'd say to me, Eddie Kramer taught me that. You got to do this because Eddie Kramer did it. So that was always the joke. And I would always say, I'd turn around and go, what, did Eddie Kramer teach you that? But that's for, and again, New York Groove, iconic, that's the song that Ace is kind of defined by, really, arguably his biggest hit.
Number 13 on the Billboard 100, Steve.
Oh, God.
Only hit of the 4.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But, again, and that was it, and just the perfect, the perfect, everything about the record, and it really, it really sums up him as an artist, and again, I don't think you need anything else. If there was one record, that would be it, and still to this day, song for song, it still does it for me, still number one.
Awesome. Wang, number one?
Number one. Awesome. I love hearing that shit. The personal experiences, everything. And I've got a lot of moments in my life that not because I've never met the man. Obviously, Steve was a very good friend of mine. So I never met him, unfortunately. But some of the moments of my life, being at the Creatures of the Night tour, seeing a sign out front, see, my idol's not going to be there. Some guy, Vinnie Vincent's going to be there. And I got some Vinnie Vincent stuff later for you coming up. And then, stuff like that and whatnot. But there's two memories. And just so you know, my number one is the 1978 brilliant masterpiece, Ace's 78 solo record. But two memories that stand out for me is how my father, and I'm very grateful that I still have my parents because they had me at a very young age, and my mom in high school. They're still married. But anyways, my dad playing Fractured Mirror over and over and over and over. I just remember going, wow, my dad loves my band. And then a story
awesome.
that and my dad's the greatest fucker on the planet. And then one thing that I've talked about on this podcast is I got two Kiss solo records 1 week, Blue Collar Family back then, maybe upper middle class, whatever. And then two the next. And I'll never forget listening to the week after I got the Ace. I remember listening to Peter Criss, the solo record. And my mom was having, if you guys are old enough, well, I know you two are, but the listening audience, back in the late 70s, there was a thing called Avon. All the women, they had Avon. There was like these Tupperware. Avon, Tupperware.
The Avon lady.
The Avon lady, the Tupperware lady. Yeah, okay. I did not know that, but I'll never forget.
Cadillac.
Yeah, I ran into all these ladies and everything, and I come in there crying like a little bitch. I'm a, Mom, the Peter Criss album doesn't sound like Kiss. And my mom literally, and this is a fact, man, my mom said, shut up and go listen to the Ace Frehley record. There. That's a fucking fact, dude. That is a fact, and I love her. This is the same woman that would not let me go to the Dynasty tour in November of '79, even though I was old enough. But very strict, very religious, and whatever. But Ace Frehley 1978 solo record, bam.
Oh man, same for me. 78 solo album. I got all four for Christmas one year. They were the cutout versions. I didn't care. Had the posters, had everything in there I needed. But I took the moment I unwrapped them, they didn't see me the rest of Christmas Day. I was up in my room. I had Ace Frehley on the turntable first. I gave it a listen. I was just, like you say, rip it out. You're just blown away the second you hear that. It just, and then everything else. I mean, in the end, the bell on Fractured Mirror, just the whole ambiance, of it, and then those giant power chords at the end, middle, and it's just wiped out with the laugh, and oh man, dude, the album. And then I put on Paul's, and I was like, man, I love Paul's, but man, it doesn't pop like Ace's. I'm sorry, it didn't have that production. Why? It had Eddie Kramer. Of course, it was going to be the best sounding solo album, and it's Ace. And and it had the number. It had the big hit. Here's something for you, Steve. We used to have a diner up in Kingston, New York, called the Dietz Stadium Diner. All right.
Okay.
These diners used to have. Remember the little jukeboxes that sat on the tables? You could put the quarter in and pick your song.
Yeah.
It had Ace's New York Groove on it. And what was really cool about it was it had a little picture of his solo album cover with New York Groove. And man, I'd go in that diner and play that. Oh, dude. Just such great memories, man. Oh, God, the 8-track. Oh, Lord have mercy.
In the box.
Wow. Is that yours, the original?
Yeah, of course.
Awesome. Wow, so you got it on 8-track first?
No, this isn't. No. I got it on vinyl first. I got this afterwards, but
oh wow, cool.
I've never
man.
seen it with the Casablanca box.
So okay.
Fuck yeah.
Cool.
Fuck yeah, man.
Yeah, hell
There it
yeah.
is.
Nice.
Yeah,
Fuck
man.
yeah.
Hell yeah. Ace Frehley, man. God, man. Ah,
He
what
will
a
be
devastating.
missed. He will
Yes,
be
he
missed.
will.
That's for sure.
Yes, he will. Man, Steve, do you got a couple, your favorite moments before you met Ace and two of your favorite moments after you met Ace?
What do you mean before I met him? Like
in your Kiss fandom as a kid, what were your biggest Kiss moments that you can remember?
Well, I mean, seeing them on the Dynasty tour. That was my first concert. And I was 9 years old, and I remember Madison Square Garden. I remember the first time what is that smell? And it smelled like, it was pot. I didn't know what the hell it was. And my brother and my sister-in-law were laughing. My brother was 10 years older than I was, so they took me to the concert and that, But I remember my vivid memory of them was rising out. You see the videos now when they rose from the stage with each the different color, the solo album lights. Ace was blue, and I remember the cape. And I still, for me, I love the Dynasty costumes. I know a lot of people, don't like them for some reason. They got to be too, I think I hear Disney, no way, man. I think those costumes are great. And Ace's especially, when he came out, King of the Nighttime World, they opened, and he came down the ramp and hit that note, with the cape. It was nuts, and finally
magic.
Yeah, and finally seeing them, seeing my superheroes live on stage, and that was it. And other than that, I'm trying to think other great memories. I mean, all the TV show stuff.
Yeah.
I remember the one I loved, Hot Hero Sandwich. When they were on that show, and they. It was that backstage. There was a lot of backstage stuff, and there was a lot of good stuff with Ace. And he was he's drinking his champagne, and I remember him walking to the stage with the glass of champagne. Come on, it's time to rock and roll.
Rock and roll, yeah.
That was one of those moments again, man. Time to rock and roll. And then, and then meeting him, again, meeting him that first time. at the backstage at the Bon Jovi show, and he was just so nice. And that was, I think anybody who's ever met him, you knows what a nice guy he was. Forget the rock star when you cut through all the bullshit and you got to meet him in a good circumstance. He was great. Like here, when he'd be here, he would be doing magic tricks for my daughter and stuff.
Oh,
just
man.
being, just a normal guy. We had 2 years ago, we had Father's Day here, and he was here with my whole family, my mom and dad. I was joking while we're sitting there eating a cheeseburger. I said to my dad, my parents are 90 years old, but
Wow.
and they're, luckily my dad's in really good shape and mentally he's awesome. I go, Dad, can you believe that we got the guy when I was in third grade? My father was a principal. He was the vice principal of our school. He was a teacher. And I remember my third grade report card said, and the teacher wrote in it, Steven seems to be more interested in Kiss than he does his schoolwork. And I remember saying on Father's Day a couple years ago when Ace was here, Ace and Lara were here, and I said to him, Dad, can you believe it? Here's the guy that I was more interested in. He's celebrating Father's Day with us. I said, it's pretty cool.
That's awesome, man.
I told Ace that story. He loved it.
Awesome. All right, man. I think Wang's got a couple questions for you real quick.
Yeah, I certainly do. And first of all, I want to thank this gentleman for taking the time to come on our little goofball podcast. But we love Ace and we love Kiss just as much as you do. So you are in the same family tree as we were. But I have a couple questions for this gentleman, and a few of them have nothing to do with Kiss, and but basically not Ace. So, anyways, and Syncin Stanley, if you don't mind, after Mr. Brown answers my question, what do you think about the new Peter Criss song?
Who you asking first? Steve?
I want the gold record artist, Steve Brown.
Okay.
Cool. I love that. I think it's really cool. I mean, I'm so happy for Peter that he finally put something new out and that he's got a good team behind him. I know John Five and who's the guy? Barry Pointer was the producer on it, and Billy Sheehan's playing on it, and Paul Schaefer. I haven't really heard the full song enough to give it a go.
Fair enough.
It was definitely different than what I thought it was going to be. I mean, I had heard through the grapevine, I think John told me, the record's rocking, and when I saw the title, it's cool. I mean, it kind of. I mean, I think everybody feels the same way. It kind of has to me, it has like a little Alice Cooper vibe to it.
Yeah, that's what I said. Yeah,
it's very theatrical. It could almost be like a Broadway tune, which I know Peter loves that stuff. But look, at the end of the day, the fact that he's got a new record coming out at 80 years old, he's 80 or 79.
Yeah.
In December 80, exactly.
Right. So I think
incredible.
that's so cool. And again, it's awesome. And for the Kiss fans, we all got to support it. I will buy just like I do with everything, and I will buy every version of it, every copy for my collection, and support the guys. But Peter's a good dude.
Yes!
And he's always been great to me, and I'm very happy for him.
Awesome. But I'm in downtown San Francisco. If you hear the sirens, I am literally in downtown San Francisco. So excuse the sirens, okay?
Of course. Go to CVS and steal whatever you want, because you won't get arrested.
I don't have the complexion for the connection, if you know what I'm talking about. Anyways, no comment, right? All right, so anyways, here's the deal. What I want you to know, there's two questions that are double questions. So
yeah,
my question to you is, what is your what's better? There's two. This is a double situation. What's a better record, Creatures of the Night or Lick It Up? And what's your take on Vinnie Vincent?
Creatures of the Night all the way. Sonically, I mean, both of them sound really good, but Bob Clearmountain mixed Creatures of the Night.
Right.
I love the songs. There's a couple of those great Bryan Adams co-writes War Machine and Rock and Roll Hell that are just great songs. Bryan Adams and Jim Valance. I don't know if you say it like that, but yeah, always. But I love Lick It Up too. Again, man, I'm a fan for life, and I go through all the trenches with him. Vinnie Vincent, a unique character, as we all know. I've met him a couple times, and he's always been cool.
Expand on that. Expand on you meeting him. And what year was this generally, roughly?
I met him first, I'm going to say 1985 in New York City.
Wow.
At a guitar show. It was like the New York guitar show. And he was very nice, I was a little kid. Hey, Vinny, I'm a guitar player. I have a band. What's the name of your band? It was nothing like that, but he wasn't a dick. So that was cool.
Okay.
But then I met him. I met him again at Creatures Fest, and I met him right before he was going out to play, and he had his makeup on, and I went up to him, and
so you were there?
Yeah,
I was.
Yeah. Oh man, I was in there the whole time when he was playing, warming up, playing for an hour. But also Vinnie Vincent, great. Vinnie Cusano, great songwriter. He's co-written some of the non-makeup era Kiss's best songs. One of them that I did a cover version of, 1,000,000 to 1, that still to this day is one of my favorite non-makeup Kiss songs. And I loved my doing the remake of that, and I still play it once in a while. Fans have really embraced it. My good friend Eddie Trunk was the first guy that started really playing that on his show and really giving it going. Like, this is a really cool version. And later on, it turns out Paul Stanley had heard it and really liked it. And Vinnie Vincent has complimented me numerous times on it. So that means so much. When you take somebody else's song and you cover it, and you do a good version. That's kind of a seal of approval. But Vinnie Vincent, again, definitely a quirky dude without question. But at the end of the day, I can't say anything bad about him. He's always been really nice to me, and I think he's got the crazy guitar playing he does. When he slows down and he can bend a note, and all the guitar players out there, you'll notice the guy has good vibrato. He can bend a note in key, and he could play. I just wish he would. Back in the day, it was just, and I think that was brought upon when he came in. It was totally the height of Eddie Van Halen and Randy Rhoads and the the '80s guitar playing, and I think Kiss wanted that. But I think his was a little over the top. I think they could have brought it. I think they would have been more well suited with a guitar player that played more like Warren DeMartini, if you will, a little bit more slower melodic blues bass with a little bit of shred.
Like the guy from Mr. Mister.
Yeah, Steve Ferris, did some great stuff. And the MVP of Creatures of the Night as far as the guitar solos, of course, is Robin Ford, who does, all the guitar playing on I Still Love You, which is just, one of Paul's greatest songs and one of his greatest vocals. And, again, Creatures of the Night, just, again, sonically, I just got, like, that remastered version of it. And, like, man, Bob Clearmountain mix, it's just so good. And, Eric Carr, man, forget about, let's not forget Eric Carr, the drumming.
Exactly.
I Love It Loud, and the intro, Phil, to Creatures of the Night alone.
Oh, yeah, hell yeah. Hey, Syncin Stanley, real fast. I know I want to focus on our distinguished guest, but I want you on record. What's your take on the new Peter Criss song? And if you don't mind, Syncin Stanley, what do you like better, Creatures of the Night or Look It Up? Syncin Stanley, better.
Well, I gotta let the new Peter Criss song settle a little more.
Fair enough.
First listen, I was, I want to hear the rest of the album. Yeah, but it's great to hear from Peter again, and I am really looking forward to hearing the rest of the album and seeing what he did with Billy Sheehan and John 5 throughout.
Right on. Creature of the Night or Lick It Up. Syncin Stanley, better.
Creatures, man.
All right, right on. Thank you very much, Syncin Stanley. And my next question to our distinguished guest, who is a big, huge Van Halen fan, as I am. Me and our distinguished guests are bigger Van Halen fans than the lovable Syncin Stanley. even though he likes them, but not like we do. It's just being real.
I got the six pack, man. What are you talking about? I love Van Halen.
Yeah, but not
Diver
like
Down is my favorite album by him.
Yeah, you're
Hot
crazy.
take.
You're crazy. All right, Steve Brown. Hold on.
Yeah.
Steve Brown, what is the best Van Halen record? Bam!
You got to go with Van Halen 1. You know, it's
Right on.
the songs, just phenomenal songs. The sound, arguably the greatest rock guitar sound ever recorded, and some of the greatest rock guitar playing ever played. And you know, let's Eruption, groundbreaking, monumental, unparalleled, never duplicated, no one will ever touch that again. And then, but that's just that guitar solo, but those solos that are in those songs, you know, I'm the One, which is, again, one of those other songs that if anybody asks me, you know, an advanced guitar player, what can I do to be a better guitar player? I tell everybody, learn I'm the One, learn the rhythm, learn the solos, and if you can play that somewhat close to how Ed could, because I don't know anybody that can play it just like that, you will be 100 times better guitar player. But just so many great songs, and the sound of that record and the harmonies, it just still, it's one of those records that always makes me feel incredible. And
right on,
you know,
right on. All right, your favorite Metallica record?
My favorite Metallica record is Master of Puppets.
Okay. Ozzy Sabbath or Ozzy solo? Bam.
Ozzy solo for me.
Okay.
And that ties in with Randy Rhoads.
There you go.
After Ace and Eddie, it was Randy Rhoads was my next, you know, huge influence. So
Irie or Blizzard? Oh my God! There you go.
But yeah, so huge influence. Both records. Diary of a Madman for one reason, because that was the summer of 81, 82, I believe it was. That was the year that my guitar playing. That was where I spent the whole summer practicing 6 hours a day, and that was one of the records that was my, you know, one of my textbooks that I try to learn all that stuff. So yeah, Ozzy solo, but later on I went back. I love Black Sabbath, you know.
Yeah,
but
right on.
I'm a Randy Rhoads guy. I love Tony.
Right on.
Iommi.
Right on. All right, AC/DC 1978's Powerade or AC/DC's 1979 Highway to Hell? Steve Brown, bam.
Highway to Hell for sure.
Right on.
Yep.
And here's the deal. I only got a couple more, then we'll let you get going, and we're so appreciative of your time. We love this shit, and it's so cool to have somebody that actually worked with Ace, and it's amazing, and Syncin Stanley's friend. So, Mr. Steve Brown, what was this is a two situation. What was the highlight of opening for Kiss on the Revenge Tour, and do you have a specific memory of this date? Hopefully you don't. Can you see the ticket stub? Syncin Stanley.
No.
The
Friday,
Oakland
December
Coliseum.
12th,
Yeah.
1992.
Yes, and this gentleman's band opened up for Kiss Revenge Tour, and I was there, as you could see by that ticket stub.
Yep.
What's your most fond memories of the Revenge Tour? And do you, as crazy question as this is, do you remember that specific date, that Friday night, and on Friday, December 18th, 1992, Steve Brown?
I remember it very well. So that was, again, one of those, you know, with Trickster, PJ and I and the guys in the band, you know, we started the band, we were fans of rock and roll. So to get to finally tour with our heroes, and for me, the band that started it all, you know, and again, it's been well documented, you know, I was good friends with Ed Van Halen, you know, I became friends with my heroes, you know, I still talk to Alex Van Halen regularly, still a dear
awesome,
love him, but touring with Kiss was, again, one of those monumental moments to be able to, again, call my parents and my brother and say, dude, you're not gonna, mom and dad, you're not gonna believe this. We're going out on tour with Kiss, and we're playing the Meadowlands Arena with Kiss. You know, our hometown arena. I mean, that was one of those moments where it was like, you know, top of the mountain, if you will. And it was so great. You know, that tour, the first day in Allentown or Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, Stable Arena, I'll never forget it. When we're there, Gene comes in. He comes in our dressing room to welcome us to the tour, and we had this huge gift basket, one of those Harry and David baskets, and it had all cookies and fruit. And Gene goes, he has a cup of coffee, and he comes in and he goes, "Oh, who gave you that? Who gave you that beautiful basket? It's very nice." And he looks at the card. I go, "Oh, CAA, Mitch Rose, our agent, who, you know, we were booked by the same booking agency." He goes, "Oh, it's very nice." He goes, they didn't send us one of those nice baskets." And he go, "Gene, well, whatever, take whatever you want." He goes, "Oh, are there any cookies in there? Because I like cookies." And so I gave him the cookie. We gave him the cookies out of there, and it was, you know, again, so many great moments. You know, we became really good friends with Eric Singer. You know, Eric was, you know, he had a lot more in common with us, the Trickster guys, than he did with Gene and Paul, if you will, I think. So we hung out a lot of the same sense of humor, but just so much fun. And, you know, some great times. I got to do sound check, and I posted this video of me playing Paul's Iceman, doing sound check, and just so many cool moments like that. But again, it was one of those, you know, monumental moments where you're playing with you're touring with your heroes. And to be able to, after we play, be able to go to the soundboard and watch Kiss every night. You know, what's better than that?
Right on.
Wow, man.
Right on. All right, yeah, 3 more left, and then I am done. I'm going to send them all real fast. And these aren't music related. What is Steve Brown's favorite movie of all time? What is Steve Brown's favorite TV show of all time? And in closing, my last shit, then I'm done. The Beatles or the Stones? Steve Brown, bam.
Favorite movie of all time, I'm going to go with Jaws.
Okay.
Favorite TV show of all time, I'm going to have to say... Favorite TV show, that's hard. What's my favorite TV show? Come on. Seinfeld.
Right on.
And what was the third one?
The third one is the Beatles or the Rolling Stones. Who's better? Who do you like better?
Beatles by such a short margin. I mean, I love them.
Right on.
Love them both, and you know, and of course, you know, the Beatles and the Stones, both massive influences on Kiss.
Yeah, absolutely. Right on, brother. Thank you, bud. Syncin Stanley, take over. Bam.
Oh man, in closing, man, I just have to publicly thank Steve Brown for. Oh man, I don't want to cry, but you gave me the best moment with Ace I ever had, man. I wouldn't have gotten on that bus that Kiss canceled goodbye if it wasn't for you. So you gave me that moment, man, and you know, I was on there for 3 hours with him and his entourage. And it was just a blast, man, to know that your guitar hero was now a friend of mine in a sense, and that he loved what I was doing and got a kick out of it, and I made him laugh. I mean, for me to know that I was able to make my hero laugh at what I was doing was just the greatest gift I could ever have. And you know, him whipping out his phone going, "Did you make this one?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I made that one."
Oh.
Did you make this one? No,
Yeah.
my buddy Vincent made that one. It's so surreal, man. And thank you, Steve. You gave me that moment. Like I said, I would have just left, you know, because I'm not one to bug him, you know.
Well, listen, man, I know how much joy you brought him, and I knew that he would love to see you. And obviously, I don't think I remembered that you stayed with him for 3 hours. But
oh, you were out of there. You left. You and PJ left. I was there.
Yeah.
I was there for like 2 to 3 hours max, man. I mean, they wanted to know everything. They wanted to know the whole story. I mean, there's stuff I promised I wouldn't say, and I will never say. That's between me and Ace, and yeah, I mean, I can publicly say it now. I had to keep it private. He asked me to keep it private. He didn't want to be in cahoots with Syncin Stanley because he still had to do business with Paul. I understood that, and I honored that.
Yeah.
You know,
Either way, man, I'm so happy that again, those are the moments. And look, I think this is a lesson in life for all of us. Reach out to your friends that you don't see a lot, and always, even if you can't see them, just say, hey, man, I'm thinking about you. Because as we get older, things happen unexpectedly, man. And I always try to reach out, my family members every day, especially my parents that are in their 90s. I tell them I love them every day, but you got to reach out. Think about some of your friends that maybe you don't talk to so much, because time is, again, you never know when something tragic is going to happen and you lose somebody. But the key of it all, Tim, is that you had some great moments with him, and you remember that. You'll never forget it. And I'm so glad I was a small part to get you on that bus with him. And Neil Davis, man. And I'm going to be going out. I'm going out to Vegas in 2 weeks, and I'm going to do the Ace tribute. I don't think it's really announced yet, but I'm going to be playing with Ace's band, with Ryan Jeremy, Scotty Coogan. So we're going to. He announced
it.
Yeah. So okay.
I saw a live thing of Neil saying that. Yep.
Yeah. So I'm honored to be a part of that, and of course to honor Ace's legacy, and but at the end of the day, Ace is he's a superhero up in rock and roll heaven, and he's probably having a beer and a shot right now with Eddie Van Halen and Randy Rhoads. Let's hope.
Jamming with Eric Carr again.
That too.
All right, man. I don't have anything else, man. I think this was a beautiful and fitting tribute to our beloved Ace. Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Steve. We really appreciate you coming on, your time, and that's all I got. So, with that being said, Syncin Stanley here, and that concludes another episode of the Syncin Wang Show. We'll see you next time.
Bam!
Bye-bye.
This has been a Sync Army production.
Bam!